Hey there everyone, it's John from Green Monster Music. Now I've been seeing a lot of posts and questions about bar chords, especially from those of you that are just starting out with bar chords. They're a real big pain in the butt for all of us, and they can wrap your fingers up in a pretzel pretty easily. So I thought I'd drop by and give you a couple of real simple, real quick tips on making the best out of getting good sounds of your bar chords. So most of you know that your bar chords are going to be coming from 4 different chord shapes, different open chord shapes. We're going to base them on the E major, E minor, A major, and A minor shapes. So typically what happens when people are starting bar chords, you might read it in a chord block or in a book or something, and you'll put your first finger down here in the first fret, and your fingers are all kind of cramped up and, stuck over here, and it's real difficult to get your fingers to move to where they're supposed to be, and they kind of end up flopping over like this and kind of crunched up and getting some messy sounds here. So what I like to do is this. Approach it a little bit differently. We're going to drop the first finger in last. That's basically the tip of the day. That's the theme of the day. So starting with your E major chord here, I'm going to just switch the fingers to what I call an alternate fingering. It's the same chord, but it's just different fingers. Now I'm going 3, 4, and 2 to make the E major chord. What that does is free up the first finger. So I'm going to slide up 1 fret, then bar with the first finger. Notice it's a little bit easier to get this guy to drop in once that these guys are a little bit stronger and situated where they're supposed to be. Then I drop in that first finger, and there's my F major bar chord. So once again, instead of starting with the E like this with the standard fingering and then barring, almost automatically our other fingers tend to kind of bunch up on top of that first finger. It's a big problem with most of us that are starting out. Your fingers kind of bunch up and they're trying to support that first finger to get it to squish down on all the frets. And it's just so hard to get them to move away from there. So start with your E major, move to the alternate fingering, 3, 4, and 2, slide up 1 fret, and you can even just kind of check out your strings and make sure you're getting at least clean sounds out of all of the strings. And then you can drop in your first finger here. And it's almost always a little bit easier to add your first finger after this alternate fingering chord shape has been moved up. So that's basically the tip for you. Start with your alternate fingering first, then drop in your first finger. So really quickly, I'll give you an example of the 4 movable chords that we base almost all of our bar chords on in the beginning. There's more bar chords, there's more chords that you can move. But for now, think about 2 E's and 2 A's. E major, E minor, A major, A minor. So really quickly, E major, I'm going to flip it to the alternate fingering, move up 1 fret, then drop in the first finger, and there's my F major bar chord. So the same thing with E minor. I'm going to switch to alternate fingering, which in this case is just 3 and 4, move up 1 fret, bar with the first finger, F minor. So here's A major. Now my standard fingering for A major is 2, 3, and 4. There's a lot of reasons for me choosing that fingering over 1, 2, and 3, but we'll get into that another day. So 2, 3, and 4 standard fingering. Alternate fingering to move into a bar chord, I'm going to use the 3rd finger bar. Now, if you can get the high E string to be open in this chord, great, it's a bonus. If you can't, and it's kind of muted out, don't worry too much. That note is an E. We also have an E over here on the D string. So I want you to focus mostly on the middle 4 strings. Those are the notes that you really want for that A major chord shape. So take this guy, move up 2 frets, bar with your first finger on the 2nd fret, and there's your B major chord shape. So the same thing with A minor, standard chord shape. Now I'll add the E string in this one here. Switch to alternate fingering, which is 2, 3, 4. Same chord, different fingers. Now once again, I'm going to move up 2 frets, bar with the first finger, and there's my B minor. And that's all there is to it. Hope it helps you, and that's it for today. See you at the next lesson. Practice, practice, practice.